Rubbin minds now away from Ekiti decides, away from the politics, and now to an interesting topic: robots, technology. A lot of people have said these robots are going to dominate things, and if you're a lover of sci-fi, you can only imagine what this world will be like in 100 years, 2 years. But there's real fear among people, among workers, that jobs will be replaced by machines. But to discuss this topic with me, I have two techpreneurs. I have with me Jide Ayegbusi. Jide, welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you, Isabella.
I also have Damilare Oguleye. Damilare, welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you, Isabella.
You're both techpreneurs.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel, being a techpreneur, that your work is going to put people out of jobs? Like, or are you already seeing that? Like, are these machines here to help us, or are they here to maybe kill us, quote and unquote?
Yeah, for me, I really don't think that machines, robotics, or AI, as the case may be, are here to displace humans of their jobs. You ask yourselves where, in advanced world where you have technology at the highest level, let's say US, where technology is almost at every corner, UK, France, and all of those places, you see that unemployment rates in those countries are very low. Take for instance, in US, unemployment rate is 4%. The same thing in UK, 4%. I think France, 5.8%. In Germany, 3.5%. These are places where technology is at the highest level. And here in Nigeria, we have not even started scratching the surface, but unemployment rate is very high. We're talking about 80%. So if technology, AI, robotics, or whatever that you call it, are really displacing people of their jobs, then in those countries, unemployment rate should be really high. I really don't believe that technology is really sending people out of jobs. Rather, technology is helping us solve a lot of problems that we face as humans.
Damilare.
Well, I'll take a divergent view from that, being that McKinsey recently reported in their future of work that by 2030, 800 million jobs will be lost to robots. And what that tells you is that most of those jobs, particularly in the continent of Africa, most of those job losses will come from this continent. But what would happen in the instance, where I don't agree with that jobs, robots or AI would displace people totally, is that there will be requirements for new skill sets, right?
Sure.
So it would necessarily not take people out of jobs. We'll get more efficient, we'll get better at doing things. But with the skill sets we sometimes currently have on most of the continent, the real fear is there that people will lose jobs.
Sure.
And people need to adapt to new skill sets, which I don't know if we're preparing enough for that.
Okay, so how can employees actually prepare themselves to this new way of work, or this new world of work where technology sits side by side with human capabilities?
Yes, we're talking about learning 21st century skills, like you rightly mentioned. The world of work is changing, and it means that people must also change, along with that. We're talking about collaboration. We're talking about critical thinking skills. We're talking about problem-solving skills, communication skills. These are skills that every forward-thinking employee or potential employee should go learn, so that they will be relevant in the world of work. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at a practical example, like the financial sector. We have ATMs now. Now, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you'd have to queue by the bank. There's a bank teller that will give you the money. But now you just ATM or you use mobile banking. That's a clear case of jobs being replaced by humans. What would be your reaction to that?
Again, it goes back to the very first point I made. I even think that that's so ancient. I was last year on a program, and when you see what is happening in the eastern part of the world, in Asia, we have not even scratched the surface when it comes to the role of AI, or the role of robots, or the role of technology in financial services. So yes, we can't overflow the fact that there will be clear displacement of people from current roles. But what we then need to know is that even though there are jobs being displaced, what is becoming more evident is that AI is also creating more jobs. Yeah. There are jobs being created, right? So it's that, well, are we preparing people as fast as the jobs are being created? Are we preparing people with the right skill set to take on those jobs? That's the big gulf. That's the big question.
And what's your answer to that big question? Are we preparing people?
I would say that
here in Nigeria.
I would say that I don't think so. I think that we're at an opportunity to leapfrog, but we're not preparing. We're not doing enough of what we should be doing to take advantage of technologies that allow us to leapfrog. So we're not doing it. I would think that one major place where it's evident that we're not doing well is our curricula, right? People still learn stuff that I used to learn years ago. Those things have become very obsolete. So our curricula, our educational curricula still reflects that we're not preparing people for the place that they should be preparing. Even the way we go around governance, the way we go around those certain issues, it's clearly evident that we're not preparing people. And I worry that of all the continents that is advancing into this fourth industrial revolution, Africa is the least prepared and might be the biggest bronze bearer of this cross.
For me, I think the onus is also on the people themselves. Sometimes we talk about we're not preparing people enough. We should be preparing who? We cannot leave everything to government alone. I think the onus is also on the individuals who are trying to do one or two things for themselves to also prepare themselves. And nobody's going to prepare you for anything if you're not preparing yourself. Like the Yoruba you says that the child that raises his or her hand is the child that the parent will carry. So we also need to prepare ourselves as individuals, both as entrepreneurs and also as employees. Yeah.
Okay, so techpreneurship, that's a marriage between technology and entrepreneurship. In a country like Nigeria, or even the continent of Africa, how ready are we for techpreneurs? Are you guys a bit early before the time? Like abroad, you have Silicon Valley, you have techpreneurs raising millions of dollars in seed funding. Your experience in Nigeria, are you a bit too early or you're just on time?
Well, I think techpreneurship is one of those words or those coinage that people have often abused, and it's because it's not the fault. It's also because of series like Silicon Valley that have glorified or made the whole concept of techpreneurship very glamorous. But for us, what you find with what's simple techpreneurship is just taking advantage of technology to solve problems in a commercial way, right? So we have abundant problems to solve on the continent or in the country, and technology is right here. Even though we don't develop some of those technologies, but the technology to solve some of those problems we have is right there. And a few of us are the ones who are at the vanguard of trying to solve some of the problems that are evident, leveraging technology. So are we too early? No. Technology is abundant. It's abundant. It's a resource that is abundant. Do we have problems that can be commercialized? Abundantly, yes. We also have those problems. So we are not too early. On the second issue of funding, as is that we sometimes will find ourselves that we come late to the party, is also the fact that we've not been able to attract as much funding as the rest of the world. But I think it's something that is gradually improving. TechPoints recently released a report that the amount even tech startups in Nigeria raised in just the first quarter dwarfs what they raised the entire 2017, right? So it shows, we might not be there yet, but it definitely shows progress and it shows growth, and it should be very well encouraged.